All right, I haven't updated you guys in a while. Uh, so it runs. Cam's broken. However, I'm going on my third set of plug wires, so there's a story with that. I bought Moroso's this time. I had went to the auto parts store down the street. It's a ethnic name, let's say, for an Irish or Scottish person. Starts with an O. Anyways, they had the Excel 4040s sitting on the shelf. So I bought them. They said somebody else had bought them a week earlier and returned them. I looked over it, looked all good. The only thing they did was crimp down one of the wires for the coil end, which was what I was going to use. So they're all cut to fit. I put them on, and the wire to number that I had running to number 5 wasn't firing. So I pulled it off, ohmed the wire out. The wire was broke internally. Found 2 of them like that. Since it was previously sold, I don't know what happened to the wire. So I took them back for warranty. And then they gave me whatever these are. Right? Because they still carry Excel, but they don't carry the 4040s. The 4040s, they had put this part number on the box. So I get these POSs, and I'm cutting them to fit. And as I'm trying to cut them, the pulling motion of the excess sheathing, right? You cut it, and then you get to pull off like roughly an inch, not even that much. I put my strippers on there just for this. And I pull, and it's just ripping out the carbon wire in the middle. And I'm like, what the hell? At first, I thought the cutters were grabbing it. That ain't what was happening. It was these wires were so crappily made. So what I had to do was take them and kind of cut it around like you would with a pipe cutter on a pipe, and just go slow and pull it off as easy as I could. And I did that. And I've still got only 6 cylinders hitting, and it's pissing me off. So I finally said, you know what? I'm done. I ordered the Morosos. I'm going to put them on tonight, and then we'll fire it up one last time tomorrow. I got the heater going in the garage. I got nothing but water in it, and it's going to be cold enough tonight it can hurt something. So I threw the heater on in the garage, but I'm going to drain it tomorrow after we fire it up one last time, and then, drain the oil out, change all that around, and we should be good to go. I am having all kinds of hell with the Holley. Now, in the Holley's defense, I haven't got it to fire on more than 6 cylinders, and it ain't ever the same 6 because the wires I've been dealing with for the last week and a half, I don't know what's up with wires lately. They just don't want to work. And like I said, the Excel brand, I've used them a million times. The 4040, well, not the 4040s. I had to have the 4040s for the straight plug for the Cadillac rather than the 90s that everything else used. And they had the 4040s. I bought them, and somebody had returned them. So like I said, I don't know what happened to them, but I had to buy another set, so I bought some Morosos. I'm a Taylor fan myself, and Left-Handers is literally right around the corner from my house, and that's where I normally go for plug wires. But they only have them in 90s because everything they deal with is either LS or small block Chevy or small block Ford, which I figured a Ford might use a straight end boot, but they don't have any. So I just ordered them from Summit. Let me get all the plug wires on tonight. I can't fire it up because you're going to laugh how we did the exhaust. It is literally a single chamber muffler being held up with a jack on each side. Coming off the stock manifolds. I put the O2 sensor on this side. It's just funny how and it is not quiet with single chamber mufflers. But let me get this done tomorrow. I'll fire it up tomorrow. I'm probably not going to have a video of it just because it sounds like ass. It's like having open headers. There's no, the exhaust is so short, and then mufflers, they might as well not even be there. I should have just put glass packs on it at this point. Let me get it firing on every cylinder, and I want to try to get this thing to idle because I had it going at $2,000, but I had what would be the idle screw on a carburetor pushed way in, and I had the throttle way open to do it. I set it at 8 initial, And oh, that's what I forgot. I needed to buy new springs for the distributor today. I have new ones in it, but they are really stiff. And New Vision Garage, you commented on it. It's what I normally run on most everything, but this timing needs to come in a lot faster on this for some reason. It stumbles as it's trying to throw the weights out, and it wants more timing. So I'm gonna probably go up tomorrow with the initial to 12 degrees, and then I got to go down to the store and get lighter springs to put in there. I want the flyweights to come out faster because all it's got is the mechanical advance. I don't normally run a lockout like most people. I like it easy to start, so that's why I do it that way. And I just make sure the mechanical advance gives me what I want at the top end. I do got to make a bracket for the trans return, and it's going to be really weird on this Dominator style EFI. I'm going to have to drill some holes, or at least a hole here. I have to come down and figure out, there's got to be a ratio to this. I'm going to have to figure out from the center line for this to pull against this TV cable, and then I'll set all that once I've got that made in a bracket for here, which I had. I just don't know what I did with it, and I'm sick of looking for stuff. I ripped the garage apart the other day, just throwing crap out because I'm sick of looking at it, and I got to put the garage back together. The engine sounds good when she's running. It's just loud. It's deafening loud. Or I'd do a video for you. I have a short video I might put on a shorts with this. It's we fired it up yesterday morning, I think it was. It's only hitting on 6 cylinders in the video, but it's just obnoxiously loud. Where else we at? So I'm going to give the Holly a chance tomorrow and try to get the idle and everything set. Reset the timing a hair farther, change the advance, or the rate of the advance with the springs. Then it takes, I'm debating on pulling the heads off for the winter because it obviously ain't totally going to be done. Winter's all but upon us for some reason already. And the ports on the heads are hair smaller. They're hanging down when you look down the ports of the intake. And I want to clean all that up. I might do it. I might not. I might just say screw it. And then the other thing I was thinking about the other day, my oldest got a hold of me. Eventually this we'll do all the rust repair to this, and it's going back on the street, and the 500 won't be in it. Not today, not tomorrow, probably not within a couple years, hopefully. But there's a company in Australia that makes steel cranks for the 3800, the front wheel drive engine, and it's a stroker. It's a 3.7 inch stroke, and they stopped making them about 10 years back. And my kid's been watching them because he's building a 3800 for his 242 Volvo. Well, it come back up. They said they have enough interest, they're going to make a run of them. It's not too badly priced. However, they said they won't ship to the States. So there's ways around everything. I just don't know if I want to spend $1,700 for an engine I'm not even screwing with right now. But if I don't get it now, I won't get it. Like, I screwed up. I should have bought the Caddy steel crank when I had the chance, and I didn't. Thinking, okay, they'll be there later. Well, guess what? No steel crank, no aluminum heads. It is what it is. I'm not saying this will be the last Cadillac I build, but I would like to go to the V6 after this and, make that 3800 hum. Where else? I got to get on the brake lines on this. The TAC is set up for a 6-cylinder, so I got to get in there, reprogram that. I'll go through the Holly tomorrow, programming that again, fine-tune it, to get the idle and everything else it needs. I got to reset a bunch of sensors in it because I made it run, so I threw everything a little hair off because, I'm me and I do me things. If it's working now, we're good to go. I didn't realize it wasn't hitting on 2 cylinders when I was breaking it in either. Wasn't until later when I was like, what's all this raw fuel on the ground? And I realized 2 of the wires weren't good. I made new wires and had the same problem on different cylinders. So, yay. Some changes, though, I'm probably going to do is I'm going to get a hold of Cadco on the first and spend a little bit of money. I'm gonna get the steel hub, and what I found is I'm gonna drill it again for the small block Chevy pattern. Obviously, I have to just to keep all my accessory drives on there. But I want to put the ATI hub on it off of a small block Chevy hub that they make, which will bolt right on. I think the only thing the only thing I'm gonna have to do is open up the hole a little bit for it to fit over the hub, and then I'm gonna take it to the machine shop, and they're gonna have to cut the back to fit the gear drive like they did this one, and I'm gonna have them cut the holes, so I know they're better centered than I did on this one. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at. So the engine's done-ish. I'll probably post a video tonight as a short, and then if we can get it idling and running good tomorrow, I'll give you another better video of it running. Oh, yeah, next in line. That's my only problem with ripping it bar out and redoing the heads, raising the ports and the heads, which I really want to do, but I got to get going on the turbo manifolds. I'm going to have to build them, so it is what it is. I'm going to end up with a turbo over here and a turbo in here. And then I still need a different water pump because that one's too close to the radiator. They make the one that's identical to this, but it doesn't have these stands and it mounts flush up against it. So that should work perfect. Give me just enough room to get the fan as I want in there. And then we're going to make that bad boy run it. Summit said they had a distributor that the ECU and that could run, but I'm just not trying to spend that money right now. Oh, here's a funny story from 2 days ago. So, or a day or two ago, I think it was 2 days ago. I had all the wires off because I was going to make these wires. And I wanted to see something. There's something else I was doing. I get my ADHD goes and I just get 100 ways sideways with what I'm doing. I turn the key on. I'm standing over here next to the car. I turn the key on. I hear this. And I'm like, what the heck is that? So I shut the key off. It stops. So I said, all right. I turn the key on and I come over here to look because I want to see what it is. I have never, ever in my life seen a coil or anything throw a spark like this. But there was no boot on here. It threw a spark from here all the way to here. And it was a loop. Looked like a circle, half a circle. It was just, wow, I was like, holy crap. Man, it made my heart jump just thinking about touching that sucker. And then we put the new wires on. I was double checking the timing. And I grabbed the distributor and while it was running, she bit me. Yeah, anybody who's been around these older engines knows what I'm talking about. At least I ain't got a pacemaker, because if I did, man, they'd have had to send me to the hospital because it would have damn sure shorted it. But that little MSD coil is kicking out some voltage, I promise. I'm down to, I need seat belts, seats, which I'd ordered once, and I don't know why I never got them. I got to put the console back in. I want to put a different shifter in, which I have. I want to get rid of the spool in the back and put a locker in it if I'm going to keep it on the street. Oh, they did bring back 666 for 2025. We didn't get into sick week with New Vision Garage because it went nuts. I don't even think it was 30 seconds and it was full up. But I'm going to do 666. New Vision Garage is going to do 6 summer. Sick Michigan miles again. And I'll be his passenger on those. And he's going to be my passenger next October for doing Route 66. 666. Going from Missouri to roughly Arizona. I don't have the money to spend on these. I spent way too much money in Michigan, just in hotel rooms. So I'm probably going to get a camper for the back, a little teardrop. And we're going to put an AC on this and just rock it. It is what it is. But it's the one I want to do. I figure if I was going to do it, I wanted a long haul. I think it's 5 or 6 tracks, 5 or 6 days or 8 days, whatever it is. I don't care. We're gonna go have fun. And it's a year from now. So I got you guys probably hadn't seen it, or let me flip the phone back around. So we're running it, and I noticed this really bad oil leak. So you see down there, I had put where the fuel pump goes. I got a Rocket Racing cover. I put a fitting on it, and then put a cap on it till I can get the turbos, because I got a Y fitting going on there for return for the turbos. Well, the oil pressure on this thing, I had it idling at 800 for a little bit, and it was at 70 psi at 800 hot. That's running 1540 Rotella with 3 things of freaking zinc additive, because it's got 3 gallons of oil in it. But I was like, oh shit, I didn't know what was leaking. I get in here, I realized that's dripping, and it was just the end thing. It was loose. I never tightened it. Stupid shit. I figured I was gonna find something I left loose that I was gonna get back to and never did. It was running with a fan in front of the radiator at 175, I think. But I want to get a bigger fan before I run it again, sit in front, or actually, my goal should be a fan there. So that's kind of where we're at. But winter's over, this thing should be on the road. And we should be ready to go tear some shit up. I don't know what else to tell you about it. Everything's decent. It's ready for the oil change from the 30-minute break, and I give it, running it at 2,500. And from what I understand, when you break in cams, you're just revving them up to get oil on there, make sure the cam's covered in oil. Well, I think that pump's just, wow, it's moving some oil. I can promise you that. Like when we were cranking it, when it first popped off, it was at like 1,500. It's over 100 psi. The gauge stops at 100, and when I'm making it idle at anything over 1,200, it's over 100, and the gauge can't tell you what it's getting, and there's no relief in the system, so it's taking every bit of it. But I was glad to see it was at 70 at an idle hot, so I'm good with that. Let me know if you guys want to see anything about it. I'll try to tell you. If I rip it apart and port the heads more, I'll let you know and make a video on that real quick to show you what I'm doing and why. I did have to modify some brackets. My eyes aren't all that, I guess, so back to my, I don't know if you see the washers in there behind the alternator. And then it was a little far forward, I didn't realize it, and it kept trying to throw the belt off the crank. And it was going to knock it into the oil pump belt over there. So I had to figure out exactly how far it was off, and it actually needs to come back forward about 1/8 of an inch, but we've run it like this now, and it's not going nowhere, so I'm not that worried about it. So it's got power steering. Yeah, race car with power steering. Funny to me too. You can laugh because I'm laughing. It was just easier to put it in with the way this is set up than it was to not put it in, because then I had to get another box, and I had all the parts from the V6 that was in here. Well, let me know what you want. Like I said, if I can get it running right tomorrow, I'll make you a video. If you don't see one tomorrow, I either didn't get back to it as fast as I wanted, or I'm having all kinds of hell with the Holly, and I'm going to go buy a Phytech. But I'm trying not to go that route neither, because this is already on here. They say this is good to 1,500 horse, and I'd like to be around 1,000 with the turbos. And it should do that effortlessly without even hardly pushing them. Yeah, that's it, man. Because I would tell you like and subscribe, but I'm so hit or miss on this anymore that I wouldn't bother. Just if you like what I'm doing, keep up when I do post something. Hopefully, like I said, spring hits, she should be on the road. I got to find a good locker, so any suggestions? I'm a big fan of the old Detroit lockers, which I can't find for a Ford 9-inch. So anybody got any better ideas? Got to be 35 spline too. I say 35 spline, but I haven't had the axles out. For some weird chance it could have a 40, but I'm going to imagine it's a 35, so I suppose I should pull the axles out in the next couple weeks and make sure what I got. If I do order parts and then order the wrong crap, right? All right, man, you guys take care.